The Pittsburgh Steelers are in LA to take on the Rams, and like we do plenty on this channel and on this show, well, we're going to talk about some bets. And I got a 4-leg parlay for you guys that I think is going to hit, and I would highly recommend for Week 7 as the Pittsburgh Steelers look to move to 4-2. What's going on, everybody? I'm Noah Strackbein. Thank you guys for jumping on to another video here at All Steelers Talk. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check out the podcast Monday through Friday, anywhere you get your podcasts. And as always, go to blackandgoldapparel.com for all your latest merchandise. Let's talk about a 4-leg parlay I feel pretty good about. Dove into a little bit of notes, dove into a little research. You know, I'm the type of guy that Sunday mornings I sit down, I think about, hey, okay, what are my bets? Where are we placing them? Where do we feel good? And then you always, you shoot your shot with a parlay. And I think parlays, they're dangerous at times, but they're as fun as it gets. And for us here at All Steelers Talk, well, we like to utilize them as much as possible. Let's talk about the 4 that I got for you guys in Week 7 as the Pittsburgh Steelers look to go 4-2, beat the Los Angeles Rams, and head back home where they will begin the second half of their 2023 season. First one I got for you, Kenny Pickett, plus 211.5 passing yards. Kenny this season has only thrown under 220 yards just once, and that was in the loss to the Houston Texans, a game where seemingly everything went wrong. Very hard to say that performance is going to happen again. And even when the Pittsburgh Steelers struggle, they throw the ball enough and they give Kenny Pickett enough opportunities that he takes advantage of them. You got to remember that Diontae Johnson is on his way back, which means that he has another weapon, a guy that could be a security blanket. And I get it. No Pat Freiermuth, but I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good about the Pittsburgh Steelers' chances and their quarterback's chances to throw over 211 yards. You got to also remember that the Rams, they have some question marks at cornerbacks with Darren Kendricks. Uncertain if he's going to go this week after being arrested following the Rams win in Arizona. Kenny Pickett plus 211.5 passing yards. Feeling pretty good about that one. Let's stick with the passing game. Diontae Johnson returns. He had 48 yards in Week 1 against the San Francisco 49ers before he was injured. Plus 40 receiving yards this week. You got to get it on the alternative, but I still think that is a good mark. I think his number is 46.5. I don't know how confident I am in those extra 7 yards. I like to play it safe a lot of times. If you're going to play it safe, plus 40, I think is a lock. That's 3 receptions. I think he gets 3 receptions in this game. Him and Kenny are going to be itching to get that chemistry going. Akella Witherspoon and everybody else is going to have all eyes on George Pickens as they look to shut down the second-year receiver who has taken the league by storm during Diontae Johnson's absence. I think this is an easy one for Diontae to come out here, kind of have a breakout game and say, hey, I'm back, and the Pittsburgh Steelers to give him the rock as much as they could. Plus 40 receiving yards. I'm feeling pretty good about that one. Another receiving option here. Again, it's iffy to hit with the ground game because the Pittsburgh Steelers, as much as they probably should run the football, they like to throw the football quite a bit. Jaylen Warren has only been under 20 receiving yards once this season, and that is Week 1 against the San Francisco 49ers when, are we even counting that week? At that point, most of the team, and I get it, that's the only game we could go off of about Diontae Johnson, but most of the rest of the team, that's as bad of a performance as you could have gotten. I wouldn't judge anything off of that game. The rest of the season, Jaylen Warren's out here a pass-catching machine, has been over 20 yards in every single game since. This week, he's 19.5 receiving yards. The over-under, I'm going the over. Easy. I feel very confident in that. I feel very confident in Jaylen Warren. I feel confident that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to try to get this guy more involved, and I think it's going to be through the air. I see Jaylen Warren as a solid third-down passing option and a guy that, if you're covering George Pickens, if you're covering Diontae Johnson, if you're focused on Allen Robinson and Calvin Austin, nobody's covering Jaylen Warren. 20 receiving yards, over 19.5 receiving yards, almost easy money. This is one where, if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, you don't feel good about this one. I think it's a good bet just because the Pittsburgh Steelers cornerbacks, they've struggled this season. And with a guy like Cooper Kupp, a guy like Puka Nacua, it's tough to say that the Los Angeles Rams are not going to find the end zone through the air, and with absolutely zero running backs. I mean, I get it that you're going to have 4 at this point, and Royce Freeman, Myles Gaskin, Zach Evans, and Darnell Henderson coming up, but I still think that they're going to throw the football quite a bit. Matthew Stafford plus 1.5 passing touchdowns. If you're not feeling that one, and let me just wrap this up here. Those 4 right there, Kenny Pickett over 211.5, Deontay Johnson over 40 receiving yards, Jaylen Warren over 19.5 receiving yards, and Matthew Stafford over 1.5 passing touchdowns will give you 595 odds this week in a 4-leg parlay. Got to feel pretty good about that one. If you're feeling a little ballsy, if you're saying, hey, look, I'm not putting Matthew Stafford in there, it ain't happening, that's not what I do, you could remove him. I still think that's like 385, somewhere around there. I'd still feel pretty good about that one. But if you're looking for a little boost, a little bit more odds, the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't had a rushing touchdown all season long. If I had to guess, it's going to happen at some point. There's no way they're going to go all year without scoring a touchdown on the ground. My bet there would be Najee Harris, obviously. You add him, that's plus 115 odds. That equals plus 877 odds on a 4-leg parlay. If you remove Matthew Stafford, add Najee Harris anytime touchdown. I feel pretty good about that one. That's your 4-leg parlay this week. Hopefully we hit. I'm going to feel pretty good about it. I'll be real jacked up on Monday when you guys find me on the show. If this does hit, hopefully I put a couple of bucks in your account this week, and I'll see you on Monday.